subscribe, and share, and join our newsletter down below. Now, let's go on to our next story, which is again our girl Kyle. Kyle Richards shares the one good thing about Lisa Rinna's exit from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, talks casting rumors, and, quote, the longest break, plus hopes for friendships with Crystal and Garcelle. Do we not know, like, haven't we been saying this forever, that Kyle's move this season was going to be to befriend Garcelle and Sutton because she really has no other choice. She is trying to befriend Garcelle and Sutton for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think she wants cover from Erica Jane in case Erica Jane decides to come after her. She wants to stand behind Garcelle and Sutton for shade and for cover, dodge those bullets. And also, I think she needs reputation rehab. I think she knows that she's no longer as protected on the show as she used to be. I think that she knows her diamond is not as secure as it used to be. Like before, we would never think that Kyle wouldn't be on the show or wouldn't come back. But I think after they fired Rinna and after Kyle's main producer left the show, she's getting a very different edit. And also, I think now that they're paying attention to what we actually think, Kyle's never been a favorite for us. She may have been Andy's favorite, but she was never our favorite. And now they're paying attention to that, given everything with social media, with Botgate, with Kathy, with all of it, LVP. Now I think Kyle is shaking in her boots. And she knows the best way for her to stay relevant on the show is to be with Garcelle and Sutton. Her best way to gain likability, because that's what she's really lacking, that's why we call her Vile Kyle, she's really lacking in likability, is to connect herself to Garcelle and Sutton. And then also, I think it's her way to stay in the good graces of the executives who are now actually paying attention. Because Garcelle and Sutton are good for TV. They're good for business. They're fan favorites and we love them. I also think it's her way. I also think that she really misses LVP. And she knows that Garcelle and LVP are friends. She's probably jealous, but she also probably thinks this might be a way in. But let's keep going. Okay. Kyle Richards claims she and her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills castmates are coming off their longest hiatus yet. Just as cameras are starting to film scenes for season 13 in Los Angeles, Kyle is reflecting on her time off while also addressing the many swirling casting rumors in regard to the new episodes, sharing her outlook on her evolving relationship with her co-stars, and admitting there is one good thing about Lisa Rinna leaving the show. Now she's trying to get on the good foot and talk about the good thing about Lisa Rinna leaving the show, when we all know there was the rumors that Kyle and Andy Cohen both were trying to save Lisa Rinna's job. We also know that Kyle was still friends and probably is still friends with Lisa Rinna, even after the Kathy Hilton stuff. She also said that she was not going to go against Erica, that she was still going to stand beside her. She said this prior to the indictments, so we'll see what happens now. But Kyle is still being a coward. She's still being wishy-washy. She's still not taking a stance. She says, we usually have a month off after the reunion. We've now had 4 months. We've never had that. This is the longest break I've had in 13 years, Kyle told the In the Know by Yahoo's Gibson Johns on February 7th. According to Kyle, she spent her downtime at her new home in Aspen on trips and doing her best to give her mind a break from the drama. After all, season 12 wasn't the easiest season for Kyle, as it featured a falling out between her and her sister, Kathy Hilton. There are some seasons where I can do absolutely no wrong, and then there are some seasons where people come after me and I deserved it. Then there are times when I don't feel like I did anything and they'll still come after me. You just don't know, Kyle said of the fans' reactions to the show. I try to just stick with people that know me and know who I am and love me and support me. It's easy for me not to think about the show. It's been very good for me to have this extra time for sure. I'm also sure she's worried that this extra time could turn into a full-time pause. I think they all were for a minute worried about that check. You know what I mean? But let's keep going. While on break, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was targeted with tons of casting rumors regarding potential comebacks of former cast members like Lisa Vanderpump and Brandi Glanville, and the possible additions of newbies like Ada Field and even Paris Hilton. But Kyle's claims there's no truth to the reports. Ida Field, someone was just talking about her during the show, Kyle shared. I can just tell you that not one thing I've read online is true. Not one thing. Even Melanie Griffiths was recently tied to the show. Well, a couple of things that this isn't true. First of all, Melanie Griffiths was not recently tied to the show. She was tied to the show last year because we over here with the Candy Canes, we were talking about Melanie Griffiths last year, last summer. So this isn't a recent thing with Melanie. We've been talking about that. We were talking about Melanie. Remember when we were talking about Kimora joining the show, Tori Spelling joining the show. There was even talks about Kristen Quinn joining the show. We've been talking about this. So it may be recent to you, Reality Blur, but we've been talking about it. Now, Ida. I think Ida Field really was supposed to join the show. But when it leaked and she got a taste of the smoke, she backed out. That's what I really think happened with Ida. I think she thought, I can come on the show, I can be cute and do whatever. I think that her and her husband, Robbie Williams, are probably going to either are going through a separation or divorce or will go through a separation or divorce. And that was going to be her storyline, that she was going to go through that, either trying to save her marriage or going on the show to get divorced. And we already cracked that case. People were saying that Robbie had been selling all these properties. And so it was either, do they have financial issues, or is a divorce coming and they're liquidating everything to split up assets? She was already saying that her and Robbie basically stopped having sex and all of that stuff. So there was a lot going on. He was out here in these streets talking about, how he messed up with another woman, Kylie Minogue. So I was like, oh, so this girl's coming on the show to get divorced. That's what it looked like to me. And I don't think she liked the smoke. And then all of a sudden, she wasn't coming on the show anymore. Anyway, she goes, I remember I was talking to Melanie Griffith at the Halloween premiere, and I was like, apparently I've been trying to get you on the show. And she said, I saw that everywhere. I had never met her, but I saw her on the plane in Aspen, and we talked in the airport in Aspen, and I said, hi. We're both very close to Jamie Lee Curtis, Kyle explained, admitting that she would love for Melanie to be on the show. So you would love for Melanie to be on the show, but you just said you had never met her before? Shut up, Kyle. And isn't this Ding Dong Kyle? That's Ding Dongery. We need a new name for Kyle. I'll think about one. Anyway, isn't this the same Kyle who said she wanted problematic? What the hell is this woman's name? Oh, I can see her face with the little chipmunk cheeks. John Legend's wife, Chrissy Teigen. Remember she wanted problematic Chrissy Teigen to come on the show? Kyle, shut up. Nobody's buying you. Nobody's buying this. If you're reading this, Melanie, come on, let's do it, she stated. Come on, let's do it. Didn't you just say you had never met her before? You only ran into her in an Aspen airplane, but now you're besties and saying, come on, let's do it? You don't make any sense. As for her hopes for season 13, Kyle says she'd like to get to know Crystal Kong-Minkoff and Garcelle better. Now you're really trying to do some damage control, because there is nothing about you that likes Crystal. There's nothing about you, Kyle, that likes Crystal. And there's nothing about you that wants to get to know Crystal. You just don't like it that we called you on it. And you just don't like it that Crystal actually stood up to you. She goes, I feel like Crystal and I really haven't had a chance to get close. I wonder why. Because you kept trying to kick her off the show to bring Teddy Boring Mellencamp back. Not that I'm defending Crystal all that much, because Crystal, you got your issues too. My number one problem with you, Crystal, is you were still hanging out with Dirty Diana after all the allegations came out. What's up there? What's up with that alliance? And I am judging. I'm judging 100% because to me, there has to be a bottom to the petty. There has to be something where you just say no, And to me, it is when someone has been accused of the crimes, excuse me, because they are crimes that Dirty Diana has been accused of for the last decade. That to me is the bottom. Anyway, let's not even give her any light. She continues to say, we've had moments of not getting along, but when we don't have those moments, we get along great. We just haven't gotten close, she shared. I feel close to Sutton Strack, which I don't think you see on the show. We get along great. She makes me laugh and we have fun together. Shut up, Kyle. Isn't this your same friend who told the world she had 2 miscarriages? And you started to push her and say that she was lying? You laughed at her and you said, where did this come from? I never heard this. This is your good girlfriend that makes you laugh, Kyle? Because I remember that. It was at Garcelle's birthday party. You were wasted. Sutton and Diana were having a conversation, if you can call it that, because Diana can barely carry a conversation. Sutton talked about her miscarriages and you laughed in her face and you scoffed and you were like, oh, you've never said this before. Where is this coming from? Basically saying she was lying. And then you kept mushing her and pushing her. But you and Sutton are such good friends. Shut the hell up, Kyle. Let's go. Because again, there has to be a bottom to it. And I think looking a woman in her face and laughing and saying that she's lying about losing pregnancies, that's a bottom for me. That's a bottom. But let's keep going. And while Kyle will surely miss her friend Rinna, saying that she, quote, brought a lot to the show, she believes her departure will spark new friendships amongst the group. Whenever someone is really tight with another cast member and they leave, then all of a sudden that person who is very close to them is going to have to become more open to other relationships, especially Erica, I would say. I've always been close with Erica and we've had our issues this last year, but people end up leaning on their wingman a lot. So it does open up the door to be closer to other people, she reasoned. But this is the thing. I think Kyle and Erica were only ever close because of Lisa Rinna. Like, I never really considered Kyle and Erica being close. I always considered it as almost like the same way I would never consider Erica and Teddy being close. Do you know what I mean? It's like the group dynamic that makes them close, not that they have individual friendships, right? Okay, now, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. What do you think about, one second. What do you think about Kyle saying she wants to buddy up to Crystal, buddy up with Sutton? She's claiming to be buddy up with Garcelle. She's claiming that she's buddied up with Sutton. Maybe, maybe not. What do you think about her now saying, oh, there's going to be a new dynamic now that Lisa Rinna's gone? We're going to see what's going to happen with, Erica Jane and all of that stuff, right? Put it down below. What do you think? And then what do you just think about this upcoming season in general? Do you think we actually are going to get any new diamond holders, any fresh faces? Because as of now, anybody who was going to join the show, it seems like we scared them off. Sorry, Ida. And the other people, they haven't seemed to come up yet. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And stick around my candy canes because we got one more story about Lisa Rinna. But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a key is always better with community. Check out the description box down below. Join our newsletter. It's free. And also check out our podcast, movies, books, and courses. So with that, let's dive right on in. All right.